You have faith in that offensive line. They're getting their ass kicked every week. Like, what's going on there? They're getting paid a lot of money to be better than what they've been.
Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about Urban Meyer and his crazy and very embarrassing ride with the Jacksonville Jaguars and how he's officially now fired from the team, and I don't think he will be getting a job in the NFL ever again. Before we hop into the content of today's video, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and drop a like on the video if you guys do enjoy it. I'll leave my Twitter and Discord in the description if you guys want to get more connected with the channel. But with all that being said, let's hop into the video about Urban Meyer and his disastrous time with the Jacksonville Jaguars. There's not a single time in my memory where I can relate so many problems and issues and embarrassments to one head coach in the NFL. The closest that I can come to is Adam Gase with the Jets, and comparing Urban Meyer to Adam Gase is like comparing the best coach of all time to the worst coach. Although Adam Gase was bad, Urban Meyer has taken this to a whole nother level, and today I'm going to be going through the list of things that he's done to the Jacksonville Jaguars organization and how he's just embarrassed himself since he's walked through the doors in Jacksonville. Starting off, I don't know why the Jaguars hired him in the first place. It never felt like it was a good situation for him to come into. I mean, one, he's never coached in the NFL. He's not like a young offensive mind or hotshot in the college level. He's kind of an old guy who really looked like his coaching career was over. He's retired a couple times now in college, and it really seemed like he was done in his coaching career. And with a really young team the Jaguars have and a new franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, it never seemed to make sense why they would bring in Urban Meyer, who has no experience in the NFL, and coaching this really young team that needed, a real leader and someone to teach them the ways of the NFL. But I guess the Jaguars kind of wanted a big name, and they gave Urban Meyer $10 to $12 million a year for 6 years. The contract was never actually made public, but that is what the records are kind of showing right now. The Jaguars are going to be on the hook for $60 million all the way through 2026. So basically, Urban Meyer got $60 million for completely embarrassing himself and the Jaguars for about 3 months of the NFL year. Starting off in July of 2021, the Jaguars were fined $200,000 and Meyer was personally fined $100,000 for violating the non-contact rule during OTAs. That was really the first alarming thing that has happened, and that's not a huge deal. I'm sure some teams break the similar rules to an extent, but now that you look back in hindsight view, it really does sum up his time in the NFL. There were reports going into 2 months into the year that the players really didn't like his coaching style, nobody respected him, and he wasn't really a great leader. And some examples of that is during a staff meeting, Meyer delivered a biting message that he's a winner and his assistant coaches are losers, according to several people informed of the contents of the meeting, challenging each coach individually to explain what they've ever won and forcing them to defend their resumes. That is not something you do as a leader, and that really only turns your coaches against you and not really want to work for you. About a week ago, Tom Parasolo released an article basically stating months of tension surrounding Jaguars coach Urban Meyer has boiled over with multiple run-ins with players and other coaches in recent weeks, renewing questions in league circles about whether Meyer's stay in Jacksonville could end after just one tumultuous season. And just today, we got more details about some things that have happened between him and other players. Former kicker Josh Lambo released a statement of what Urban personally did to him during training camp. He said, quote, "I'm in a lunge position, left leg forward, right leg back. Urban Meyer, while I'm in that stride position, comes up to me and says," and you can see the quote right there, "and kicks me in the leg. It certainly wasn't as hard as he could have done it, but it certainly wasn't a love tap. Truthfully, I'd register it as a 5 out of 10, which in the workplace, I don't care if it's football or not, the boss can't strike an employee. And for a second, I couldn't believe it actually happened. Pardon my vulgarity, I said, 'Don't you ever kick me again?' And his response was, 'I'm the head football coach. I'll kick you whenever the F I want.'" On top of that, he had the viral video of being in the bar after the Jaguars lost and were in Ohio. He apparently stayed overnight and didn't catch the plane with the Jaguars players to spend time with his grandkids. But, he was caught in 4K at a bar, and that was another huge embarrassing issue that occurred for him in his time with the Jaguars. This past Sunday, Urban Meyer was asked about Andre Cisco, who was the Jaguars' third-round pick this year. They asked him about him playing more, and he said, "Cisco is playing a little bit more, I believe. I don't have his numbers in front of me." And Cisco played 0 defensive snaps in that game. So Meyer had no clue about his own third-round pick, what he was doing, if he was playing on the field, if he was contributing. Urban had no clue about what was going on or who was even playing for his own team. On top of drafting Travis Etienne while already having a great running back in James Robinson, after Etienne got hurt, Robinson was still the running back 1, and what's baffling is he's still having trouble getting on the field because Urban Meyer has benched him several times throughout the year. James Robinson fumbled early on in the game against the Rams, and he was never put back into the game until late in the fourth quarter when the game was already out of hand. That is not the way that you treat the best players on your team, and the fact that you're benching one of your best players on a team that's one of the worst in the league just shows this lack of leadership and how bad of a coach he really is. Trevor Lawrence was asked about it after the game, and he said, "Bottom line is James is one of our best players and he's got to be on the field, and we addressed it, and I feel like we're in a good spot as a whole team." And if there's one player that I really feel sorry for the most, it's got to be Trevor Lawrence. He came from a powerhouse in college, and you cannot create a worse scenario in place for him to start his career than Jacksonville this year. With tons of distractions, terrible coaching, an awful offense that has been built around him, it's pretty sad what's happening to him so far in his career. But it is official. Adam Schefter has reported that after less than 1 year in Jacksonville, Urban Meyer is out as the Jaguars head coach. With Urban Meyer out, Darrell Bevell will serve as interim head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars for the balance of the 2021 season. We'll see if the Jaguars can respond and maybe get a couple wins to end off the season, but all the coaches that they have hired were from Urban Meyer, and I just expect a complete turnover from that coaching staff at the end of the season. And I'll be really curious to see how many coaches want to actually take this job after this fiasco that happened with Meyer and the Jaguars this year. I still honestly can't believe the Jaguars owner made this hire, and I'm just waiting to see what he's going to do next and how he's going to try to fix this issue and get his team back on track. The Jaguars have been one of the worst franchises in all of sports since they've become a franchise, and this is just another thing to add to the list of the dysfunction that has happened from the top of the organization. Hopefully the owner can hire a good coach. I mean, they have some good talent across the board on offense and defense. And if they can get a good organization and a solid coach and continue to build around their young pieces on their team, they can definitely turn things around. It's just going to take some time. But let me know what you guys think of Urban Meyer and his disaster of a head coach. And what do you think this means for the Jaguars in their future? But thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and drop a like on the video if you guys did enjoy it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.